Thank you so much for staying with us, everyone. We've been looking at Nigeria's democracy, the role of the ruling party, and of course, what the opposition party should be doing, and perhaps what they are doing right now. We do have 45 political parties presently in Nigeria. And when the PDP got the Supreme Court judgment on a few days ago, some people say, well, opposition party has just woken up because the main opposition party, as they say, is back on its feet. Well, really, does it mean that PDP is the only party in Nigeria, or what exactly is happening with the opposition party in Nigeria? Well, we've heard from Chief Olabode George, a member of the PDP Board of Trustees, and Ayo Yalawo, former Deputy Director of the APC presidential campaign, and also now joining us is the presidential candidate of the National Conscience Party in 2015 election. Mr. Martins Onovo joins us on the program. Many thanks for coming on the program.
Thank you very much.
Is opposition party or opposition parties, are they alive?
Clearly, very clearly. At least the National Conscience Party is more alive than the ruling party. Now, last year in Akure, we had our national convention. The ruling party has not had its national convention. So what index will you use to claim that the ruling party is alive and the opposition is not alive? It depends. What is the role of opposition? The role of opposition is to present alternative policy positions and also alternative candidates for elections. That is the role of opposition. We have done that clearly. We have said what is wrong with the APC government. We have said what they should have done right. That is our role, and we have played that excellently. If people are expecting us to become a criminal gang and shoot opponents on the street, that's not politics. That's not opposition politics. Opposition politics is moral and intellectual.
Do you see the PDP as the main or the major opposition party?
Well, you see, these definitions have been distorted and perverted. It may make sense to look at maybe the National Assembly and number of gubernatorial positions and say, based on that, the PDP is the leading opposition party. But when you consider that the PDP and the APC remain one and the same group of the corrupt political elite that has ruined the country, then it becomes very clear that that perspective may be questionable. But if you simply look at how many governorship positions does APC have, how many does PDP have? Okay, PDP is the main opposition. If that is your logic,
if you look at the Supreme Court judgment, after that judgment, a lot of people say, well, thank goodness, members of the PDP came out to say, well, democracy just found its breath and it's alive. What do you make of the judgment of the PDP? Some people were saying that, well, the PDP, a party that couldn't resolve its own crisis until the Supreme Court helped them.
Before we talk about that judgment, I want to make two things very clear. The pillars of democracy universally are the rule of law and the integrity of the ballot. Those are the two pillars of democracy universally. And Nigeria cannot continue this trying to distort and misrepresent every concept. Because that's part of our challenges. Simple things, we overcomplicate them. The pillars of democracy are the rule of law and the integrity of the ballot. Do we have that?
Do we?
I don't think we have it. Oh, very clearly. The 2015 elections, I've told you before. What happened today in Lagos? Is this an election? The NCP was excluded. The Electoral Act is very clear. You cannot exclude political parties. This is brazen.
Is the NCP not part of the 12 political parties that
we presented candidates that they excluded?
How do you...
Koro in the afternoon.
How do you mean they excluded?
How do you mean a political exclusion from the elections?
How?
Our candidates were excluded.
Because at the stakeholders meeting where I was present,
yes,
NCP leaders were there.
Yes.
The chairman of the party,
have been in the meetings,
they were there. So I'm wondering how you mean when you say the party was excluded.
Our candidates have been excluded. I didn't tell you we don't attend the meetings. Candidates have been excluded.
Your name was, the name of the party was not on the ballot?
Clearly.
Have you gone to court or are you planning to?
We will definitely go to court. In the first place, why is Lagos State conducting local government elections? Because we went to court and won. So people need to follow the story completely. Don't take it from the middle. This local government election that was supposed to be conducted, this charade they arranged, was because we got a judgment in court compelling the Lagos State government to organize local government elections. Otherwise, they had no interest because they knew we were going to lose. Now that they have been compelled by the court to organize the election, they arranged a charade. This is a complete lawless charade. This is the worst form of lawlessness and impunity.
You think the election of yesterday? Well, let's talk about
what has happened yesterday is a charade is too mild.
What would you suggest should happen now?
Just like I said, in a democracy, it is the rule of law and the integrity of the ballot. The APC, I have said it before on this your program, is completely lawless.
Really?
Extremely lawless. If there is another phrase to express it, they don't believe in any laws. They just do what they like and damn you.
What are your examples?
Very good. I just gave you this one. We compelled this election through court.
In the state, in Lagos State?
Yes, in Lagos State.
What about the federal? When you say APC is not
yes,
only in Lagos.
I will give you many examples. The appointment done by the federal APC government, did they reflect federal character? Federal character is constitutional requirement. It's not administrative.
Which of the appointments?
I'm coming. Federal character is a constitutional requirement. People think it's administrative. No. It is in the constitution, the supreme law of the country. The military high command appointment, does that reflect any federal character? Even APC leading gubernatorial governor, Kaduna governor, El-Rufai, wrote in his memo to the president that the Southeast was excluded politically.